We all thought Alisa was strong-willed, and she could beat anything that came before her. And she had really no equal, so to say, from what we have seen since her introduction. Well, that is not the case. After witnessing this episode, we come to find out Alisa is a scared little girl that is wrapped around too much darkness and can't get out of the past. That is Alisa's character. In a sense, I now understand a lot more about her character, and I can kind of see why she acted like she did to Linka many episodes ago, and why she kind of seems like she is a character that doesn't really care about others, like she's stuck up. I kind of figure why now she acts like that. Like, I think I know. See, this episode was to show a different side of Alisa. To show that she isn't that badass female character that can do everything and is strong-willed. I mean, she has certain strong will about her, but she still is a broken little girl. And that is mainly what this episode's entire goal was to show, was that she isn't what she always appeared to be. And I like that. I like how this episode flips my impressions of a character up upon their head. Because to see how she reacted when she saw her flashbacks, these memories coming back, and then she saw her parents getting killed, I think the way that scene was done, it couldn't have been any better. It really couldn't have, because it got the point across of the trauma she goes through daily. This trauma obviously still affects her greatly because of how much medicine she takes. We have seen many times through the past couple episodes to where she takes medicine. We come to finally find out why Alisa takes this medicine. It's because she has PTSD. And she cannot get over what happened to her parents, which I can understand. I mean, if you're a little girl at her age, when you probably saw something like she did, for instance, your parents getting butchered in front of you, and then getting killed and ate alive, I think that would be a scarring event to where you probably couldn't look past that. I mean, depending on your age, depending on what you saw, it most likely would scar any child. It would. I mean, if you saw your parents just get destroyed like that, and you had nothing you really could do, you can obviously assume why she acts like she does. So you can't really fault Alisa for her actions. And also, the way she acted towards Linka and other people throughout these past couple episodes, it makes a lot more sense. And I kind of want to explain this. There's many reasons how you could pull through this and figure out, like, okay, why she was acting stuck up. For one, and most likely, it might be an unconscious thing. Maybe she doesn't want to get connected to others because of what happened to her parents. See, her parents, they died. And if you went through that traumatic experience of seeing your parents die like that, I don't think you would want to see that again. Unless you're a really fucked up individual, which Alisa is kind of fucked up, but I mean not in the way where she wants to just see people getting cut up and eaten alive. I don't think she wants to see that. So, the thing stands where she probably doesn't want to be around anyone or connect with anyone because of the pain of loss. She doesn't want to lose any more that makes her feel like she did, and to make her succumb to even more medicine and, you know, have to take even more because that's how bad it is. And there probably is something else that goes along with this. The medicine, in of itself, most likely is playing a huge role. Now, I don't know how scientific God Eater is going to try to be. I mean, it has used science with, you know, these new creatures, you know, the Aragami coming forth with the Oracle Cell, and I will get into talking about them soon, but it has been somewhat scientific, and I wonder if it's willing to take it down that route with the scientific element of the series, because some medicine, especially when it has to deal with people with disorders, like, for instance, you know, a disorder to where they're experiencing really sharp depression, like, you know, they're really in bad depression, they really don't know what to do, they're freaking out, seeing hallucinations, stuff like that. Usually they have to take some heavy medicine. And heavy medicine can cause side effects, major side effects. There is a possibility the medicine that Alisa is taking could cause side effects to where she can have, like, this aggressive personality to where she doesn't really care about others, and could do the exact opposite of what her real personality is. For instance, a caring individual or a person that is very scared and shy. For instance, the medicine makes it to where she seems strong, and also how she puts up this front to where she doesn't really care about others, but she does, but it's just not that obvious. And that's kind of what I feel like is also going on. But I don't know if God Eater's willing to go down that realistic route or not, or if it's just, trying to play on the role if she doesn't want to be hurt again. I don't know which one it is, but whatever it is, I can kind of accept both. But I personally would enjoy the medicine take on it a lot more. Just her taking medicine is fucking up with her emotions and mood and brain pretty much to where she can't really act like her normal self because she takes so much damn medicine. I mean, she was just chowing down on those pills in this episode. I mean, look how she was chowing them down in previous episodes. It just shows you it really affects her. Now, speaking about the Aragami, that's something I want to talk about now. Now that I got out, the Alisa part and stuff like that, I will get into the Linka stuff at the end with, his God arc and stuff. I'll talk about that in a moment, but I want to talk about the Aragami. See, the Aragami, I noticed a very interesting thing about this episode. Two things, actually, I want to discuss. For one, there was an article towards the end of the episode, when we saw the episode about to end. You saw, like, this clipping of news, and you gets to see a report of what happened to that dog Aragami. Like that dog that turned into an Aragami, and it had, like, a weird mutation all over it. Well, there was a little news article clip in this episode, and I decided, what, I'm going to pause the episode, and I'm going to read it. That's what I did. I paused the episode and read that entire article that was on the screen for, like, a second or two, and I mean, nobody could possibly read that unless you paused the episode. So, of course, I paused the episode, read it, and to my astonishment, it actually was readable. It was really readable, it was good English, and I could understand what it was trying to talk about. So, the point of the article that was intriguing to me was the Aragami are like a colony. They're a colony species, and this colony is kind of similar to coral. And if you know how coral is, it's a bunch of creatures forming into, like, one mass, and that's kind of how it is. And that's kind of what, the oracle cells or the Aragami is, which I think we already know that. We can kind of already assume that they're, like, a mass of different things or different cells combining. But to see how it was explained like that, it's really intriguing. And I like how, if you really want to take the time to learn more about God Eater, you could just pause the episode to some of these articles and read them, and you could really just enjoy more of the lore of the series. I mean, I know last episode that came out 2 weeks ago had, like, 2 different scenes just like this scene in this episode that I paused to read. I probably need to go back and read those, because it might give me some good information, because with this episode, it did a good job of adding in that little, the more you know, to enjoy the series. Now, the second thing I want to get into, that's just me theory crafting. Now, I'm just going to say right now, what I'm about to mention is theory crafting. It's not fact. It's not concrete. I am just throwing it out there, and I don't know if I am correct or not. It's a shot in the dark. Now that I've said that, okay. So, I noticed something very interesting about this. The God Arc is dead. That is what we were told. For instance, Linka's God Arc is dead. It can't be used anymore, and it's gone. Because we saw what happened to it in the last episode. It got fucking crushed, annihilated, and it was just dead. It's gone. It's in the dirt, not coming back. And with seeing that, you could assume that it's a very, I guess, destroyed weapon. Like, the weapon is fucking gone. And with that, there's probably no possibility of recovering. But there's something very interesting about this I noticed about the dialogue. And I don't think it's been mentioned before. If it has, show me the right direction. Just let me know in the comments below. I'll gladly accept it if it's been mentioned before. But I personally don't remember. Maybe it's because there's been so many weak gaps between the series that my memory is kind of fuzzy with some of the scenes in the series. Because, like I said, we've had constant breaks throughout God Eater. But I might make a video very soon about God Eater's constant breaks, actually. It's not going to be a bad video talking, downplaying Ufotable. But I might talk about that in a soon video. But for now, let's get back on topic. So, the God Arc is dead, and from the dialogue we got, was that if another person that hasn't, like, been assigned to that God Arc, let's say me, okay, let's just say I touch Linka's God Arc. If I was to touch it, the creature inside of it, the Aragami, would come out of it and kill me, because I'm not the owner, and it would attack me. That was what was said in this episode, so it lets you know that the God Arcs are designed for its user, which we kind of already knew that, but we come to find out if another person was to touch a God Arc, it would attack your ass and try to kill you. So here's the question. If it's based off of Aragami, like the God Arcs, like they have like Aragami inside of it, and obviously the God Arcs are controlled by the God Eaters, is this kind of telling us like some foreshadowing of what is going on with the Aragami, and maybe that black Aragami, Vajra, that we saw in the last episode? They're trying to let us know that there's like a higher intelligence that can only control that, and if like you try to touch it or be around it, it will attack you. Is that what it's trying to kind of hint at? Because that seems like some form of hint. And maybe I don't have the full picture, but the way that was done in this episode with how the God Arc will attack anyone if you're not the actual user, and then you throw on top of this intelligent Vajra in last week's episode, and then it was, you know, intelligent messing around with Linka, it makes me think that maybe the Aragami, the normal ones, are kind of similar to the God Arcs, in a way. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I could probably be 100% wrong, but I just want to get that out there. Now, episodes music-wise, damn, it got the point across with depression, sadness, Alisa being a scared little child. It got the emotions across in this episode of the music, and it couldn't have been any better when it came to the soundtrack, actually. I definitely, if there's anything I could give a 10 out of 10 for this week's episode, it would be the soundtrack. The soundtrack made this episode for me. I mean, yes, I love the animation. Yes, I love what God Eater's trying to do. But that soundtrack is the main winner for me. I can't get enough of it. So tell me your thoughts in the comments below. You all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.